I went hands-on with the Switch 2 last week in New York. There was a bonus episode of NVC that went up on Monday with me and Brian in person. It was very fun. We were very delirious. It was a blast, where we talked about a bunch of Switch 2 games and the console itself that we played. But I kind of want to just circle back because I've had a week to sit on this now and have a lot more thoughts to share. And I kind of just want to go around the panel here. And what do you want to know from my time with Switch 2, Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong, Bonanza, and a ton more? Reb, what are you thinking?
Oh my gosh.
I can start you off with an easy one, Logan. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that wasn't.
I have too many.
I missed it during any of the treehouse because I was sporadically watching the treehouses. But and we talked about this a little bit before the show, so that's how I know it's an easy one. But the Mario Kart World Tour, the free roam, that goes up to, you said 24 players, so you can just free roam with
Crazy.
Yeah, we didn't get an answer to that on the show floor. I watched all of the treehouse on the plane home because I had to catch up on everything, and it sounded like you can play with 24 players online in a single lobby in the free roam, which is very cool. They were just doing it with 4 players at a time on treehouse, and then we were all playing online but locally with a lot of comms too. There'd be like 8 of us or sometimes 16 of us on one setup, and yeah, the only exposure we got to the free roam was in the lobby waiting for a mode to kind of kick in. I think free roam is going to be the big focus of the Mario Kart World Direct next week. I think that's where they're going to sell us on the open world nature of this. They're being very quiet about it so far. So that's my biggest question remaining about Mario Kart World is when I'm not racing, when I'm not just waiting to load into a lobby, what's going to be the big hook here? I'm excited to see what they say.
Are you just feeling questions about Mario Kart right now?
Anything you want, I will answer.
Okay, so I've heard Donkey Kong described to me as a game that is right up my alley. Is like this, someone described it to me as having like the energy of Wario Land, which is delightful for me.
Yes.
He can like destroy everything, like the whole stage, like even like platforms that could get you like everything.
Yes, Donkey Kong can destroy everything in Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Why?
And what's just the most Nintendo part of it is they really went the extra step, and they didn't just say Donkey Kong destroys all and everything is the same. He punches through. No, there's different sturdiness of the terrain. And so when you pause on the world map and it says where you are, and we were at a place called the Lagoon Layer, which is underground. This whole game is about venturing deeper underground into this planet. And so you start at Ingot Isle, which is the mines at the top, and then eventually you drop down to what I believe is World 2. We don't know, it's just the second world we saw, and it's called Lagoon Layer. And if you look up, you can actually like see the ocean floor because you are underground. But my point I was getting to is that the terrain at Lagoon Layer is stronger than the terrain at Ingot Isle at the top. So I don't know if DK will have to level up by getting a certain amount of gold bananas. It kind of reminds me of like Odyssey, and I know people in our preview are like, how many times did they say Mario Odyssey? It's the comparison for this game. It just is. It feels like when you had to get a certain number of moons to level up the ship so your ship could travel to the next location. It's like maybe DK is getting stronger by eating these bananas, and so eventually he can break tougher levels of terrain. But even within those confines, then there's like concrete blocks which are tougher than just the stone, and Donkey Kong needs to use like a bomb. Like we see him holding on the screen right now, this purple rock, which I think is called, it's like Boom Blocks or something like that. Not the Wii game from Steven Spielberg.
Not the great EA game?
Which is great, by the way.
Steven Spielberg?
Yeah. But it's he picks this up and then he can throw that to destroy stronger blocks. So it's not just he is this all-destroying being that can tear through everything right away. It is something you'll have to work towards and build to and level DK up, it seems like. So it's very Nintendo in the way they're doing it.
Oh, I just love looking at it. Look at him go!
I love
Look
it
how happy he looks!
When he's on the giant crystal banana and he's just in love with his, so good. I cannot wait. This might be my most anticipated game.
Oh my god! Stop.
Like obviously I'm really looking forward to GTA 6, but like not knowing anything about this. Oh my god, I'm so fired up.
We're gonna have so much fun.
I think I'm Jada.
But
I was just gonna say, okay.
I've been seeing
we're talking over each other.
We are. I've been seeing like the rumor mills around this one that like one of the box art showed Pauline hanging off of DK's back, and she was wearing a purple bracelet, which matches the purple of the rock on DK's back. Did you get any insight into stuff around that while playing it? That like it, could be some type of voodoo magic kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be a bait and switch situation. I don't know. That might be getting my hopes too high, but I wonder if they just, so I guess slight potential spoilers for Donkey Kong, but I'm sure that they would reveal this ahead of launch anyways. But there is on the Nintendo's Korean website, I believe, a piece of art went up for Donkey Kong Bonanza that looks exactly like the box art we've seen in all regions, but instead of Odd Rock, the cute little purple rock on DK's shoulder, it's like a baby Pauline on DK's shoulder. And so people are thinking, is she actually going to be the companion in this game? And it could be. I'm wondering if debate and switch, where did they like just create Odd Rock for this demo and it's actually going to swap out and be Pauline in the main game and they just weren't ready to show that yet? Or is Odd Rock going to weirdly transform into Pauline and this is like Pauline's origin story? I don't know, because Cranky Kong's in this game.
Does Pauline hatch from egg?
Yeah, from a rock egg. Yeah, so it's interesting. But the one thing I will say is that Odd Rock sings, and we all know in Mario Odyssey, Pauline sings Jump Up Superstar, and she's a very musical-focused character. And there is a power you hit for Odd Rock where you hold the left shoulder button, and then he sings, and it's kind of like a Scout flies in Monster Hunter World or Wilds, if you know that comparison, where this path generates that's like the way you need to go for the critical path of the story. And that's what Odd Rock does. He generates this musical note path that if you follow this, you'll be back on track, because you can get really lost digging caves for yourself, and that is how you get yourself back on track.
I think Pauline hatched from egg.
I think so, maybe.
Pauline is a rock baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Logan, was there anything there that had like the new HD Rumble features at all? Like, I mean, not that they've really done much of that with the original Switch, but I'm curious to see if there's any sort of haptic differences that you noticed. For me personally, the most exciting thing when we went to this new generation was the DualSense, and say about it what you will, with some drifting and some battery issues, like that is probably the coolest thing of this generation. Is there anything even remotely close to that?
Yeah,
on the Nintendo Switch 2?
We're playing in a very loud environment, and tons of people around, super loud. We're standing at these demo kiosks, so it's hard to get like an exact feel for the controller and everything. But there were a couple times I distinctly remember feeling HD Rumble, and one of them is we played the Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV's new minigames. I love that title. I'm going to say the full thing every time. And we played the new minigames that use the mouse controls. And if you actually watch our hands-on preview on IGN.com, you may see a certain former NVC host that was giving us our demo of that. So go check that out.
No way!
Yeah, which was very cool.
Good for Philip.
But
oh my God. Get out of here, Seth.
Gonna move right past that one.
Let's go beyond that. I want to know about Metroid Prime. Like, we haven't talked a whole lot about that, like Metroid Prime Beyond, I think.
Yes.
In the
last I'll do that. I'll do that next. I do want to finish the HD Rumble thing from Seth.
Yeah.
Because we're playing the Mario Party minigame. And it's like a pullback car where you know those toy cars you pull back, let go, and they zoom forward. There's a Mario Party minigame that's like that with the mouse, where you put the Joy-Con on the table, you hold the trigger, you pull it back, and then you lift up the Joy-Con, and the car zooms off, and you're trying to like knock each other off the ledge. Who called that?
One of you on this show called that they were going to do that with the Joy-Cons. Which one of you was that?
Did we? I don't know.
One of you knows. Someone go back and figure out who it was. I swear one of you said.
I think one of us talked about it. I think it was me or Seth talked about like actually putting your Joy-Cons down and driving the mice as cars. I think one of me or
that's pretty much what it was.
Seth. Well, good job, whichever one of you.
That's awesome.
But when you're pulling it back,
I'm gonna give credit to Jada.
You can feel the tension of like that HD Rumble too, like as you're cranking it back, and it's like, you know, when you're pulling one of those cars back and you feel the tension getting tighter because it's more and more wound up inside, and you let go and it zooms off. It felt like that, so that's very cool. And just on the mouse controls, like it's something I never thought about that they talk about and they ask the developer that is very cool in practice, is that it's not just like a mouse where you're moving the cursor around. It combines that with the gyro controls of the Joy-Con 2. So you can like turn the mouse, like angle it left and right for slight adjustments as well. So it's not just the mouse sensor. Cool. It's that plus the gyro controls, which almost make it feel more precise than a computer mouse. So I think it's really cool. There's us playing Dragon Drive, which you can see Brian is struggling over there. He's like driving himself into a wall right now, which was the theme of that demo. Yeah. Metroid Prime 4. I played it. It's a real video game that exists that we've finally gotten to play. And it's really, really gorgeous. I already owned up to being wrong about it not having a Nintendo Switch 2 edition on the bonus episode. I'll do it again here. Yeah, it's on Switch 2. It's real. Yeah, sure. I was wrong. You were right. But I'm glad it is because it looks amazing. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It was the best looking game at the show. Like, we just played the intro segment where there's a big war breaking out and Samus is fighting space pirates, and we fought the first boss, and then Samus gets warped away to the planet that Metroid Prime 4 is actually going to take place on, Vuros. So even what we're seeing right now, we didn't even see this part. We just saw that opening part where Samus's ship lands on this planet that is at war with lasers firing above her. And yeah, just so cinematic, such Halo vibes in a very, very good way, right? Halo and Metroid have traded back and forth for years. Metroid Prime and Halo are very intertwined franchises, and just there's even a very elite-looking enemy in the trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is the first boss that we fought. So super excited about this one. Played it with mouse controls, and just the thing I'm the most impressed with about the mouse controls in Metroid is something I never foresaw coming, which is that you can just play in split Joy-Con mode and aim around with gyro controls like you're playing Metroid Prime Trilogy. And then if you want to switch to mouse controls, you can just plop the mouse down on the table. It recognizes the mouse sensor is like in use, and you're instantly swapped over. It doesn't have to pause. You don't have to go to a menu,
That's
nothing.
nice.
You are instantly playing with mouse controls. And that's the point I keep trying to hammer home is they thought about this stuff. They thought about a really kind of turnkey way to do it. And it's very smart in practice. I did ask, what if like I'm holding the Joy-Con 2 and my finger covers the mouse sensor? Is that going to make it trigger? And they said, maybe, but usually not probably. So I don't think that really should be an issue. But yeah, just really, really cool and excited to see more Metroid. Annoyed at I'm not taking away from the fact that I was wrong at all about Metroid Prime 4, but the basis of my argument was I never believed that Nintendo believed enough in Metroid to make it a centerpiece of their Switch 2 Direct with a big Switch 2 version. And I was right about that. They didn't give us a date. They showed it for like 15 seconds. They're burying this game, and it's upsetting me that they are just not talking about this as much as they should. It's everyone thought when it was in the Switch 1 Direct without a release date, oh good, because it's the Switch 2 launch date, and we're going to get that next week. Nope. Yeah. It got like 15 seconds. It was slotted after Kirby and Mario Party, which are games that have been out for like years or months at this point, and then it was nothing new except the Switch 2 version. So I'm upset they're burying this game, is all I'm saying. It deserves
so there is a... Go ahead, Seth.
Did you play it? Did they tell you like what mode? Were you in quality or were you in performance?
I believe I was in the 120 FPS mode.
Oh, hell yeah. How'd that look? Oh, I can't even imagine how...
It's crazy to have 120 FPS on a Nintendo console. Like, that is something I did not think that we were going to get on Switch 2. I'm still shocked 100%. By it a week later. It looked amazing. Like, this was the game on the show floor I looked at and thought, yeah, the next gen is here. It looks great. Yes, it's still a Switch 1 game with a Switch 2 upgrade. It is not built from the ground up for Switch 2. So later on in the generation, like maybe Retro makes a Metroid Prime 5 if this does well enough, and then it looks even better than this. But no, I was sold on the power of Switch 2 from Metroid Prime 4.
Let's go.
I loved the Switch 2. Like, let me just be perfectly clear. There's a lot of negativity surrounding this announcement and the messaging. I am sad that I had to say goodbye to that hardware. I miss it. It was so much fun to go hands-on with. I held it. I felt it. It feels great. The Joy-Con feel great. The Pro Controller is great. The games looked great. Like, if you're a hardcore Nintendo fan that's going to pony up the money for this, whatever the cost is, you're probably going to be so happy. I think the Switch 2 is a slam dunk hardware-wise. I'm in love with it. It's a great step up. Like, nothing but positive things to say. Again, it's just everything around it that has soured this, which is unfortunate. But like, if you look at the hardware and the games in a vacuum, they nailed it. And I'm so excited for it.
Yeah. There's a reason why you're seeing some of those Halo references in Metroid Prime 4. Their senior artist, their lead character artist worked on Halo 4, 5, and Infinite as their senior character modeler for like 9 years, I want to say. It was Kyle Heffley, or Heffley.
Shout out to Kyle.
So Halo fans, come play Metroid Prime 4 Beyond if you like the looks, because you don't get them vibes in the characters for Metroid Prime 4.
100%.
Yeah, wish this were a launch title. I would buy this as well as the freaking
Donkey Kong.
As a Mario Kart bundle. I want this more than anything.
Not
as much as Bonanza, but
Did you get to mess around with any of the psychic powers by chance?
No, because I think that's going to be the new stuff that is introduced when we get to that new planet. It was very traditional. It was Samus has everything she ever needs. She has the morph ball, she has the missile, she has the charge beam. So I assume maybe they're going to take it all away from us. I kind of have a theory they're not this time, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, and it's going to be you keep everything this time and just add on the psychic powers on top. So no, it was all the traditional stuff. I scanned a door to open it. I turned into a morph ball to go through this cracked vent like it was Metroid Prime. And I mean that in a very good way. And it looked amazing. It ran amazing. This is a showpiece for this console. Nintendo needs to treat it as such. It deserves more of a push than they're getting. Yes, it doesn't have a date yet. There is time. But I'm here to tell you, like, this is going to be one of the coolest games to play this year on Switch 2. And I'm very excited.
Hell yeah.
I think what will end up happening is you're going to lose some things, but like, you'll probably keep your missiles, but you'll be reduced to like you have 5 missiles and you have to find all the upgrades instead of having to find your missiles from scratch. I think it's going to be something like that for this one.
I want to talk about Mario Kart, I think, just a little bit more because that is one that like I was the highest on Donkey Kong Bonanza after leaving, and yeah, we already talked about that one, and I still think it's developed by the Mario Odyssey team or an offshoot of the Mario Odyssey team, and I am just so unbelievably excited for it. It still bums me out that more people don't seem excited about it because it's Donkey Kong and not Mario, and I could see it ending up as this game like Captain Toad that people like us never stop screaming about how amazing it is, but it doesn't make quite the big generational splash like a Mario Odyssey, but excited for that one. But Mario Kart World, I think people are going to really, really love this game. I think that it just felt so great to play new Mario Kart for the first time in years. Yeah, we got the new tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, but to play something new that felt different and had new things to figure out. And I have questions about Mario Kart for the first time in 10 years, and that is a really cool thing to feel. And then as time has gone on and the Treehouse came out, and just the character lists that people are compiling online, like Cow, of course, is a superstar, but then you have like Conchtor and the Bonefish
Spike.
and the Dolphin, and Spike is here. Yeah, I haven't shown this yet on camera in this episode, but I have a Spike mug that I'm using this week from Paper Mario. There it is. Yeah,
Cataquack was driving a car in that trailer.
Yeah, from Peach Beach and Sunshine.
Things. Oh, yeah, those or Gelato Beach. Those things that fling you up in the air.
Yeah, yeah, I meant the Peach Beach Yellow Jack. Yeah.
Oh, look at that hamburger, though. Man, that's so delicious looking.
Oh, you said and Sunshine. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I have to confess, I did not know that the cow was, I thought it was called a moo. I thought that was like in-game.
Yeah. I did too. They just called it cow.
Like, no, it's just cow.
Just cow.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really funny because there is Cheep, there is Blooper, and there is Cow, and that is just hilarious. And it was the star, and it's fun to see. Brian and I talked about this, but it's fun to see a refocus on Mario. I was worried, is this going to be a Nintendo Kart? I never really wanted that because I didn't want the roster to get like Smash Brothers-ified, where it's, Mario Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Bowser, Yoshi, Toad, all these, but then not the weirdos like Shy Guy and Lakitu. And in this game, they said, no, we're all in on the weirdos. You can be like the coin coffer.
Every little guy.
Yeah, everybody is here.
Every little guy.
And that's so awesome.
I've got a question for everybody. What character haven't we seen that you want to race as? Because for me, I want to race as a Thwomp.
Thwomp is a great idea. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Do they have the little football guys who throw baseballs?
Sergeant Chuck is there.
Yes.
Okay. He's in there. Yeah, and that's great.
Damn.
Yeah. So I just praised that they have all the weird guys, but I'm bummed that the Koopalings are gone. Like, where's Ludwig? Get Ludwig back in here.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, we need to. Oh my God! Could we see the return of Wart to the Mario universe?
Yeah,
the dream boss from Super Mario 2.
Yeah. Reb, do you have one?
I'm trying to think of one, but every little guy I've thought of, I'm like, no, wait, they're in there. Piranha Plant's not in here, right? Because Piranha Plant's an item. I think it would be funny if Piranha Plant could drive a car.
I think I looked at a list and someone spotted it way off in the distance.
Piranha Plant drive a car with a Piranha Plant item attached to it?
Yeah, that's great.
Just getting its big brother to help it out.
Oh my gosh.
Is there a chance we see, because technically he's a Mario character, is this where we see Gino make an appearance?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Good.
Instead of Gino for Smash, Gino for Mario
so
Kart.
Funny.
Can we have Mallow as well if we're going to get Gino?
Yeah.
I love Mallow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
when we were watching this during the direct, and they showed like the grinding, I get some serious SSX tricky vibes, even though this is like open world, but SSX had like all these great sort of branching pathways down, and I'm like, it's also one of my favorite games of all time. Did you kind of get any of that feeling, like are tricks kind of part of this more than just, drifting for boost?
Yeah. Last week, I shared some concerns that this game, the Knockout Tour mode specifically, is very straightaway focused because you are driving cross-country to the finish line, and so there's not a lot of winding turns, corkscrews, things like that you're accustomed to in a Mario Kart track. But then actually, like, thinking about it a little bit more and thinking more about my hands-on time with it, they have raised the skill ceiling on what you can just do on straightaways, I think in a really smart way to combat that feeling of I'm driving straight and I get an item that helps me get ahead. No, there's other ways to do. There are shortcuts to take, but it is the grind rails. And it is, anti-grav is gone right now. Maybe they'll show it off next week, but right now it's gone. But you can flip onto walls and then like drive on the walls for a split second and then flip off of walls again with another trick and then get a huge speed boost. So there are these techniques that they encourage you to do in otherwise pretty simple track design. Just in the Knockout Tour mode, the tracks themselves are still classic Mario Kart tracks that are very twisty and very fun. But just in the straightaway sections, it did feel like there's more for you to do trick-wise. You can trick multiple times in the air now. It's not just once and then you land. So yeah, it totally feels like more parkour focused in a really cool way to just try and build up that extra burst of speed, and it's really smart.
As a fellow Sonic fan, Logan, as a follow up to the grinding, does it feel just kind of like Sonic like Shadow Generations, where you're just kind of easily flipping between the rails, or is there like more to it?
Yeah, I didn't get to do that much of the grinding, and usually there weren't rails sitting next to each other. It's like one rail you grind on, and then you hop off of it. It's not like Sonic where you're going rail to rail to rail. But also, I think another thing I would have liked to see, and this is just the demo, the main game won't have this issue, but the demo was locked to 100cc with Smart Steer on. So I didn't feel like I could really push this game to its limits with 150, or we don't know if 200 is in this yet. I hope it is, but with 150 and Smart Steer off. So I didn't really get to go crazy on some of these tracks. But no, what was here felt really, really good. And I think that the rail stuff's a cool addition that I just never would have guessed they would have done. So yeah, I'm really a fan of it.
Oh, man.
Logan, did you get a sense of, I feel like there's been a lot of questions about what's going on with the costumes. So you can like select Mario and outfits from the character select screen, but then also you can eat food to get other outfits, and those outfits maybe influence play, but characters like Cow don't seem to get outfits. Like, do we have any details on what is going on there?
No, I think the best I can do is give you my best guess, which is that we saw an overview of the world map on Treehouse, and when they were warping, fast traveling to a different track on another side of the world, there were like 10 question marks there, and a couple of them were unlocked, and they looked like costumes for Mario. So it looks like maybe in the actual game you're going to be unlocking costumes that maybe you could just use right away, but otherwise you're going to eat food to transform into a costume. It's a really weird thing to say. It doesn't make a ton of sense. And then there's a part in the Treehouse where I think they're playing as the coin coffer or something like that, and they get the food and they eat it, and then they turn into a swooper, the bat. And then they turn back into a coin coffer. So it's like, oh, are there two different tiers of characters? There's like the main roster, which they made costumes for, like Mario and DK and Peach and Daisy. And then there's like the minion roster that turn into each other instead of turning into different costumes. I don't know. I'm hoping for some clarity on it in the direct next week, because yeah, that's still a big unknown right now.
All I'll say on costumes is they are going to fumble the bag once again if they do not give Cow a trench coat and a little hat, like a little fedora type hat,
like a Detective Cow.
Yes, if they don't get, if we don't get Detective Cow, like they're fumbling the bag.
Detective Cow.
So yeah, Mario Kart World is going to be great. I think it's going to be really fun. I think some people have some getting used to the more straightaway focused racing and the new modes they're showing off, but not to worry. Bill Trinan told me, nope, there's still ways to just do 3 laps around a track like you'll want to. So I think it's going to have what most people want, no matter which style of gameplay you're going to look for. So just really, really cool. Diddy Kong's not here yet, which just ticks me off after the 10-year fight that we all endured to get him added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So
I bet he has a new design, and they haven't revealed it yet. I bet you anything he has a new design and is going to be revealed in the Donkey Kong game, and they're waiting.
I hope so.
Oh, that's a good call.
I mentioned this on the other show. I ran into Cranky Kong and he just wasn't redesigned. He just looked like the rare Cranky Kong. And I'm like, oh.
That's really funny.
Why?
Okay.
I mean, you didn't do anybody else? Like just Donkey Kong? Okay. It was weird.
I mean, Cranky Kong's old. He's, old people are set in their ways. He ain't changing for nobody.
Yeah. So I think that's most of what I wanted to touch on again. And just, the console itself, I just want to like bring home. It just felt really premium and just really, really nice. And the Joy-Con feel a lot better. I think they're going to be a legit option for some more people this time around. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't come close to touching a Joy-Con unless they had to, right? Pro controller or bust, but I feel like the Joy-Con, they're bigger. They feel better in the grip than the Switch One ones did. So yeah, I'm very high on the hardware and on the first party games that I played. Really good stuff. So I just want to inject some positivity into the Switch 2 discussion because it's been more negativity than anyone expected over the last week.